Your cat slept in her own spot for months, maybe years, and then one night she was next to you. You told yourself it was random. It was not random. Cats do not change behavior without a reason, and the reason she chose you, out of every spot in this entire house, says something about you that she has never been able to say out loud. These are the 7 real reasons why. Number 1. She chose the most comfortable place in the house. This is the reason most people land on first, and they are not wrong, but they are only seeing half of it. Cats run at a higher body temperature than humans, averaging around 102 degrees Fahrenheit, and they are hardwired to seek warmth. Your body while sleeping is essentially a perfect, self-regulating heat source. Researchers have observed that cats spend up to 60% of their day sleeping, and they consistently choose the warmest available spot. When the temperature drops, seasonally or even just in your home, you become the most logical option. But here is what most people miss. Warmth alone does not explain why she chose you specifically over every other warm surface in your home. The couch is warm. The sunny spot by the window is warm. She chose you, which means warmth was the entry point, not the whole reason. Something else brought her to you, and that something starts with what changed around her. She did not just start seeking warmth. Something in her world shifted first. Number 2, something changed and you didn't notice it. A 2022 study published in Applied Animal Behaviour Science found that over 60% of cats altered their preferred resting locations following minor household disruptions. Not major ones, minor ones. A new piece of furniture, a change in your work schedule, someone new visiting regularly, a sound coming from a neighbour, things you noticed and moved on from. She did not move on from. Cats are creatures of deep routine, and when that routine becomes unpredictable, they instinctively anchor themselves to the most stable thing in their environment. In most cases, that is you. Your scent is consistent, your breathing pattern is familiar, your heartbeat is something she's been tracking for months. When her world feels slightly off, you are the reference point she returns to. She is not sleeping next to you because she suddenly loves you more. She is sleeping next to you because you are the one constant she is certain about. But sometimes the shift is not in her environment. Sometimes the shift is in you, and she noticed that shift before anyone else did. Number 3, she's looking to you for comfort. Cats experience stress and anxiety, and they do not always show it the way you expect. Instead of hiding or acting out, some cats respond to their own emotional uncertainty by moving closer to their bonded human. Research published in PMC found that cats sleeping and purring next to their owners helped regulate negative emotions, and this works both ways. When your cat is feeling anxious, your presence lowers her cortisol. Your steady breathing, your consistent warmth, the familiar rhythm of your body, all of it signals to her nervous system that she is safe. If something changed in her life recently, a new pet, a new person, a disrupted routine, even a sound outside she cannot identify, she may be using proximity to you as her primary coping mechanism. She is not being needy. She is self-regulating the only way she knows how, and she chose you as her anchor. But there is a version of this that runs even deeper, where she is not responding to her own stress. She is responding to yours. She felt something change in you, and she moved closer because of it. Number 4, she noticed something about you before you did. Cats can smell cortisol, the stress hormone your body releases when you're anxious, overwhelmed, or unwell. They detect changes in your breathing pattern, subtle shifts in your body temperature, and micro changes in your behavior that you are not even consciously aware of. Research confirmed in Animal Cognition shows cats distinguish between positive and negative emotional states in their owners and respond differently to each. If you have been going through a difficult period recently, a stressful job, a health scare, emotional exhaustion, grief, your cat may have picked up on that weeks before you fully processed it yourself. And her response was to stay closer, not because she feels sorry for you, because in her world, proximity is protection. When something feels off about a member of her group, she moves in. She does not ask questions. She just shows up. And sometimes showing up next to you at night is the most she can do. But her reasons for being there go beyond just responding to you. She is also actively doing something for you while you sleep. She is not just lying next to you, she is watching over you. Number 5, your cat may be watching over you. This sounds dramatic until you understand feline instinct. Cats are territorial animals, and their territory includes the people in it. Research on feline social behaviour shows that cats view their home as their colony, and the humans in it as members of that colony who need to be protected. When you sleep, you are completely unconscious and defenceless. To her, that makes you vulnerable, and a vulnerable colony member needs to be watched. This is why she does not just sleep near the bed, she sleeps next to you specifically. She is positioning herself where she can monitor you, respond to any threat, and alert if something changes. The fact that your home has no actual predators is irrelevant to her nervous system. 10,000 years of instinct does not switch off because you live in a safe neighborhood. She is on guard. She always has been. You just started noticing because she moved close enough for you to see it. And the reason she trusts herself to do that, the reason she feels qualified to guard you, is something that built slowly over a long time. She is not here by accident. She is here because she decided you were worth it. Number 6. You finally earned her trust. This is the one that matters most to understand, and the one most owners never fully appreciate. Cats do not give trust easily or quickly. Oregon State University research found that cats form secure attachment bonds with their owners that mirror the attachment patterns seen in human infants with their caregivers. That kind of bond does not form overnight. It builds through hundreds of small moments. Every time you respected her space, every time you did not force interaction, every time you were consistent, every time you were simply present without demanding anything from her. At some point, quietly and without announcement, she crossed a threshold. You became safe enough, familiar enough, trusted enough, and sleeping next to you, exposing herself in her most vulnerable state, in the dark for hours, became something she was willing to do. That night she first appeared next to you was not random. It was the result of everything that came before it. She had been building to that moment for a long time, and she chose you. But there is one more reason, and this one is the most important to pay attention to. Because sometimes when a cat suddenly moves closer, she is not just expressing something, she is telling you something. Number 7. She might be telling you something is wrong. This is the reason that requires the most attention. Cats are instinctively programmed to hide signs of weakness. It is a survival mechanism that goes back thousands of years. In the wild, a visibly unwell cat becomes a target, so they mask pain, mask discomfort, mask illness for as long as possible. But proximity behavior can change before the visible signs do. When a cat who has never been a cuddler suddenly becomes one, especially if the change was fast and dramatic, it can be an early indicator that something is physically wrong. She may be in discomfort and seeking the warmth and reassurance of your body as a coping mechanism. She may be feeling less stable on her feet and positioning herself near you for security. She may simply feel less safe in her own body and is defaulting to the safest thing she knows. Watch for anything else that changed at the same time. Appetite shifts, changes in how she jumps or moves, different grooming habits, altered energy levels. Any of those alongside the sudden closeness deserves a conversation with a vet. She cannot tell you what is wrong, but she has been trying to tell you something, and now you know how to listen. Of these 7, which one do you think applies to your cat? Drop it in the comments. And if your cat started sleeping next to you recently and you never understood why, I want to know how long it took. Because for most people, it happened after a moment they did not even notice at the time. And after this one, you are going to read those signs very differently.